All right, eyes up here. Turn your monitors off if you are going to be so inclined to want to touch them if they're on. Okay. So we're going to do word activity 5 and word activity 6 today. Word activity 5 has a whole bunch of texting phrases, and you are going to format each one. If you don't know what it is, I don't care if you know what the texting phrase is or not. So like, laugh out loud before, later. Maybe I don't know what this one means, then just say, I don't know, and move on. Okay, so you're going to go through and you're going to do all the texting phrases. Don't go look them up. I don't care if you have I don't know or laugh out loud. Okay, then you're going to go back through and it's going to tell you to write a line. Then it's going to tell you on the next one to change the text color to blue. So you'd highlight, change the text color to blue. This is also easier when you type all of them first because then you don't have to turn it on and off. Because if I turn write a line on, then I have to turn it off after I'm done using it. As opposed to if I just highlight it, I can click underline. There are a couple new things. Most of these are things that you've seen before, but the underline, one of the things that it's going to ask you to do is to do a double underline on one of them. To do a double underline, you're going to click that drop-down box on the U, and there's a double. Okay. Another thing that it asks you to do is the highlighter. The highlighter is the text highlight color. That's right here. If you turn it on and you don't want any, and you're like, oh no, I don't want that, you can say, oops, highlight it again and turn it off. If you do something that you don't like what you did, you could always hit the edit undo button. It's usually a really good friend of mine when I do things I accidentally didn't want to do. It's going to ask you to put a box around something. To put a box around something, you go to the borders and shading, which is in the paragraph section. Everybody see where I'm clicking? So if you're going to put a black box around something, it's in this borders and shading. You can put bottom, left, right, or you can put outside border. You do that. Now the only thing is, make sure that you've pressed enter and typed the next one down before you put that box. Otherwise, everything will stay in that box. So you want to make sure you've typed them all in, then hit the border, which is the outside border. If it asked you to do something specific, you could even go to borders and shading. If it wanted you to do a double dark line that was 2 1/4 point, you can do that here. One of the things it asks you to do is a double strike through. Just do a strike through. You don't have to do the double strike through. The strike through is just the ABC with the line through it. And that's under the font tab under the home. You guys are going to remember where all this is. I see about half of you taking notes, and I see about half of you not taking notes. So make sure that you understand where this stuff is. If it's something you don't think that you'll remember 20 minutes from now, write it down. Most of this has been under the home tab so far, though. Then one of the other things that's a feature here that's not one that you use a lot, but you might want to use sometime, is the all uppercase or all lowercase. So if I want to change the word tomorrow to all uppercase, I would just say uppercase. If I want to change it to all lowercase, it's the big A and the little a here, I would say lowercase. If you want to change it just to capitalize each word, which is what I call title case, just capitalize each word, or sentence case, which means it only capitalizes the first letter of the sentence, okay, in the first word. Okay. So I think it asks you in this assignment to do uppercase and lowercase. So if it asks for lowercase or all small caps, that's the lowercase. You could say small cap or lowercase. Okay? So that is the gist of this. Remember, don't spend time worrying about what the text means. It's okay. So if you don't know what it means, just put I don't know. Oh, one last thing. There is another thing that you haven't done. It's inserting a symbol. It asks you to insert a symbol. So if you go to Insert, Symbols, there's a whole bunch of symbols here. If you can't find the one you want, like copyright or trademark, there's more symbols. If you go here, there's actually all different kinds out here. Or the registered trademark symbol is there. So it's also down here. And then you just say insert if you want to put that behind. Then it puts it behind. Okay? So insert symbol. So go to insert symbol. This is the most helpful, honestly, for this degrees right here. Sometimes you guys are doing science projects and you want to put a degree sign in there. That's where this would come in handy. Okay? So that is word activity 5. Now moving on to word activity 6, which is usually a fan favorite. Okay, so what this is you're going to create this winter scene. It's going to start out by giving you very step-by-step instructions. I'll go over those with you, and then you're just going to do it by eye after that. It starts off by giving you step-by-step instructions so you sort of have some scale to the page. So somebody's snowman's not really, really little, and one's really, really big. So we're going to say File, New, create a blank document. Okay. First thing you have to do is change it to landscape. This is something we haven't done, so you might want to write down. You go to Page Layout, Orientation. This is where you're going to change it to landscape. So orientation, portrait goes up and down. Landscape goes side to side. So we're going to change ours to landscape. Then if you look at the drawings, it's going to ask us to create a circle with a 2.5 point back line and a 1.75, 1.5, and a 1.15, 3 circles that we're going to make into a snowman. So to insert a shape, we go to Insert, Shapes. There's a whole bunch of shapes there. I just start out by drawing one to begin with. Then you can change the outline, shape outline to black. And then it wants it to be 2.25 weight. So if you look under shape outline here, because you notice when we have this circle, what pops up? What popped up here? The drawing tools. So the drawing tools pop up. So this is going to be, when I click away, it goes away. But when I click back here, a new tab pops up. So this is how we're going to do a lot of editing on our drawing tools, like any auto shape that you would put in. So the shape outline, they want the weight to be 2.25, so you go to Shape Outline, Weight, and 2.25. Then they want this first one to be 1.75, oops, 1.75 by 1.75. Oops, why do I keep missing my 1? Okay? So if that's under the size, under the drawing tools, when I press enter, it automatically changes it. Now what I just do is Control-C, Control-V, V. Now I have 3 circles. Now I'm going to change this one, because the weight's already changed like it was asked, to 1.25 by 1.25. And then I'm going to go to this one, and I'm going to change it to 1.15 by 1.15. Now I'm going to make them into a snowman. Actually, they asked this one to be 1.5. Sorry. If you have that the circle's not, if it's like this and the circle's behind and you want it to be in front, just say bring forward. Okay? The bring forward and send backwards buttons, or you can right click and say bring to front or send to back too. Then to group. The way that I like to group is I like to go hit Control and click everything that I want to group. I find right click to be the easiest way, just by going right click group. If you like to use buttons, you can go up here to group. So So that means we can move it around. Maybe my snowman's a little crooked and I didn't want to do that. Oh, no, I don't like that. Let me fix it first. Maybe I can move this a little bit to the left. Okay, now I'm going to regroup it. Control, select my circles. Right click, group. That means you can move it around as one. Makes it easier. Then it asks you to do some specific stuff for the hat. And then after you do the hat, you're going to move on and just recreate this picture by eye the rest of the way. Okay, and I will leave this picture up on the board for you guys so you can also have it up here if it's easier to have it up here. Okay, so word activity 5 and word activity 6. And then tomorrow will be a turn-in day where we have to have word activity 1 through 6 done. Cool? Everybody good? Everybody happy?